The billion-dollar CBD and RSO oil blunder. This is Brian Boyd reporting for Internet Deputy. In this investigative report, we are going to expose a multi-billion-dollar cannabis and hemp blunder. Forbes magazine claims the cannabis and hemp industry is heading towards a $100 billion business. If we told you the CBD and cannabis oil infrastructure is about to become obsolete, would you believe it? If this is true, you can bet this report is going to get some serious resistance. We're talking about companies worldwide who have invested millions into manufacturing equipment for the business of making cannabis and hemp extracts. Literally 100% of the medical cannabis and hemp industry is creating some form of an extract. So what's the blunder? Most viewers watching this video are not aware of the following information that we are going to reveal in this report. There are hundreds of CBD and THC oil companies seeking to help people. However, 100% of these companies who make tinctures, extracts, isolates, and concentrates are greatly destroying the healing properties of this amazing natural herb. Before we proceed with this report, we would like to clearly acknowledge that CBD and THC oils have powerful healing properties, and the extracted oils have helped thousands of people. So, if this is true, why can this be a blunder? It's helping people, right? But sadly, there are 7 major blunders that we are going to reveal in this report. Probably one of the greatest misconceptions about CBD and THC oil is potency. The misconception about potency is the number one reason why CBD or THC oils are even made. Sellers of CBD and THC oils are pushing potency as some kind of medicinal advantage. This claim is 100% false. Stronger or more concentrated oils do not have any benefit compared to a less potent oil. So, what does high potency really mean? It means it's more concentrated and it takes up less space. Take a look at this non-extracted, natural-made product called hemp paste. This product was made using the whole plant method. Again, this is not an extracted or chemically processed product. This 1 gram scoop equals 30 milligrams of CBD, and this CBD oil here also contains 30 milligrams. Same potency. Yet the hemp paste was not chemically processed. This extracted oil here actually has less medicinal benefits versus the hemp paste, which we will explain later in this report. For example, here are 2 500 milligram tablets of vitamin C, and here is one 1,000 milligram gel cap, also of vitamin C. Both equal 1,000 milligrams. Everybody knows that there is no difference other than having to take 2 tablets instead of 1. Should you, the consumer, care if it's 30% or 99% potency? Of course not. In the CBD, THC oil world, you will find companies bragging about having 99.9% pure CBD isolates. The misconception, when we hear the word pure, we think it's a good thing. But take note that pure means it contains nothing else but CBD. No terpenes or other cannabinoids such as CBG, CBN, or THC are present. There's no full spectrum when it's pure CBD. To this day, there is no evidence that extracts have any medicinal benefits over the non-extracted flower or the whole plant. In layman's terms, there is no reason or medicinal benefit to extract the oil from the hemp and cannabis plant. Somehow, people assume or ignorantly follow the notion that the natural state of the cannabis or hemp flower is useless unless it was extracted into an oil. What confirms this misconception is the majority of cannabis strains contain over 27% THC. And if you take 1 gram of bud and cook it properly, you will have about 270 milligrams of active THC. This is 27 times the amount that the state of Colorado recommends for a safe dosage. Anyone who says that you should extract cannabis or hemp is smoking way too much of their own product. There are also strains of hemp that contain over 21% CBD. Ignorantly, people are sold on the idea that the stronger the oil, the better it works. Make note that the more you concentrate the plant, the more you damage the medicine. There are 7 major blunders that we are going to cover in this investigative report. Here's blunder number 1. The cannabis extraction process was popularized in 2004 by Canadian Rick Simpson, who coined the phrase RSO, or Rick Simpson oil. Mr. Simpson was the one that came up with the explosive idea of extracting oil from the cannabis plant by using 190 proof alcohol. Rick Simpson's extraction method is to take a pound of marijuana bud and soak it in 190 proof alcohol in a bucket for an hour. Then, straining out the plant bud and throwing the leftover plant matter into the trash, leaving what looks like a brownish green tea. Rick would then put the alcohol mixture into a pan on a stove on high heat and evaporate all the alcohol out until it looks like this, a black, thick oil known as RSO. This process is extremely flammable and dangerous to make and has caused many fires across the world. What's ironic about the alcohol extraction method is that the RSO was meant to save lives, and yet the explosions have killed people. Here's blunder number 2. The entire multi-billion-dollar oil industry has since followed the RSO idea of extraction. Many of the major companies have switched from 190 proof alcohol to butane or CO2 extraction. Are these new extraction methods the future? Are they safe to eat? Troy Shermer, a hemp and cannabis researcher, contacted 14 different hemp and cannabis lab testing facilities, such as Analytical 360 in Washington and SC Labs in California. The main question that Troy asked was, how much of the terpenes are lost during butane and CO2 extraction? The majority of lab testing facilities said that they would not give out that information. SC Labs in California mentioned on a phone interview that if they shared such information, it would damage their relationship with their clients. Only 2 companies answered all the questions, and both lab testing companies stated that 99% of the terpenes are destroyed through butane and CO2 extractions. Look at Steep Hill Laboratories' email response. By the way, Steep Hill Laboratories was the most transparent in answering the questions. The lab tech said the maximum terpenes destroyed is up to 100%, but most of the terpenes are lost through butane and CO2 extraction. CO2 extraction is worse than butane extraction in this way, he claimed. He also made a statement about removing butane from the oil, as butane leaves a chemical residue, and many experts claim that it is toxic and has carcinogens, which means that it's cancerous. If this were true, why would oil companies sell a product that has carcinogens to people who are fighting cancer? Blunder number 3. Did you know that the majority of CBD and THC oil companies are adding terpenes from fruits and trees to replace the terpenes that were destroyed by extraction? These added terpenes are not natural terpenes from the hemp or cannabis plant. Take this orange and this CBD oil. If I drop some oil onto this orange, am I getting terpenes? Yes, I am. They are not the real terpenes from hemp or cannabis. What happened to natural? Did the CBD oil industry follow the footsteps of the pharmaceutical industry? It's 100% clear that they did. And adding fake terpenes to a natural medicine is deceptive. The oil industry will say it's for flavor. So why are they really adding terpenes? It is clear that the industry has started to recognize how critical the entourage effect is, and they're trying to cover the damage done to their products by adding fake terpenes. What is the entourage effect? We'll cover that in the next segment. But first, are fake terpenes safe even though they come from fruits and trees? Internet Deputy has found the following news articles. Study finds that adding terpenes might make extracts toxic. Are terpenes-enriched cannabis concentrates bad for your health? Adding terpenes to dabs might be toxic. Blunder number 4, the entourage effect. The CBD oil industry has been producing isolated CBD. It's a white powder, and it currently is a hot-selling product. If you look at this CBD isolate here, it's 99% pure CBD. What this means is that there is nothing left but CBD. There is no full spectrum, no terpenes, no CBDA, nothing left but CBD. How does this affect the entourage effect? What is the entourage effect? Back in 2001, the British Journal of Pharmacology refers to the entourage effect and synergistic relationship of terpenes in the article Taming the THC. Since then, there have been hundreds of articles about the entourage effect. Scientists and researchers have concluded long ago that the entourage effect, or synergistic effects of all the terpenes and cannabinoids together, is superior over isolating CBD. Just one cannabinoid type, such as CBD, will not have an entourage effect. Entourage, or synergistic, means things work together, or enhance one another, or even better yet, they create a completely different set of medicinal benefits. Since pure CBD has no terpenes or other cannabinoids, it is impossible to create an entourage effect. It is important to understand the entourage effect and how many added medicinal values it does create. When you Google search cannabis entourage effect, you will find some powerful articles on how important the entourage effect is when it comes to the healing properties in hemp and cannabis. As you can see, there are many articles on the entourage effect. In short, you will find evidence that the terpenes and all the cannabinoids work together and have a superior medicinal value. So, the question is, why would the CBD oil industry isolate CBD when it prevents entourage effects? And why would they destroy 99% of the terpenes? Blunder number 5. What does decarboxylating the hemp and cannabis plant mean? Heating the hemp and cannabis will remove the A, or carbolic acid, from CBDA or THCA. This is called decarboxylating, or activating the cannabinoids. Both CBDA and CBD are very medicinal in different ways. One is raw and one is cooked. The main difference is CBD will pass through the blood-brain barrier and will attach to CB1 receptors in your brain, but the CBDA will not. CBDA is recently gaining popularity in the news regarding its anti-proliferative properties known for preventing bad cell growth as found in cancer. It's also anti-inflammatory, which greatly reduces seizures and pain. In short, the uncooked or raw state of the plant has major medicinal benefits. The CBD and THC oil company's method is to completely cook or decarboxylate the plant as much as possible so that more milligrams of CBD or THC can be sold. This destroys even more terpenes, thus damaging the medicine. Let's look at a famous lab testing company called Analytical 360, which does thousands of lab tests on CBD oil products. Click Concentrates, then sort them by high CBD, and select one. Look at how dark that is. The CBDA is under 1%, which means this product has been completely cooked to death to where it is basically zero CBDA. It has been completely decarboxylated and has been processed several times. Remember, CBDA is anti-proliferative and anti-inflammatory, and because it's uncooked, it contains over 18 times more terpenes. Blunder number 6. There are 118 different kinds of cannabinoids, such as CBD and THC, and the science is evolving. The question is, how do the remaining 116 cannabinoids work together? What are they and what do they do? What happens when we remove or isolate them? The race is on to discover what these trace cannabinoids can do for our health. Let's look at cannabinoid number 17, otherwise known as 17CA-5. It is a trace cannabinoid which is difficult to detect under normal lab testing equipment. Yet, researchers are finding that this trace cannabinoid is a precursor for CBD, just like how CBD affects THC. They work together. As you know, THC is very beneficial medically, but unfortunately, it is also hallucinogenic. CBD decreases the hallucinogenic effect of THC, and this allows you to take a slightly higher percentage of THC without getting high, thus creating a superior blend of medicine or full-spectrum medicine. When CO2 or butane extraction is used, cannabinoid number 17 will evaporate and be lost. Again, this is another reason why extraction destroys the entourage effect. Blunder number 7. The cost to produce inferior CBD oil. This process you are seeing is the standard method used when making CBD oil. This appears high-tech and impressive, but it's actually destroying the terpenes in many of the delicate 118 different types of cannabinoids. It can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars for this processing equipment. Did you know it is impossible to extract all of the cannabinoids and terpenes without damaging the medicine? Look at this CBD oil. The flower was processed one time, and the reason it's so nice and clear is because it was processed just once. But a lot of the cannabinoids were still left in the plant, which was thrown in the trash can. CBD oil companies are literally throwing away the leftover plant matter that still contains up to 40% of the cannabinoids. These numbers vary depending on the method and how many times you run the plant through the machine. Now, let's look at what's being sold in today's market. Let's go back to Analytical 360. Scroll down and click on Concentrates and choose any test. See how black that is? It has been repeatedly processed over and over, trying to extract all the cannabinoids out of the plant. Less than 1% of the terpenes survive through this process, and delicate trace cannabinoids are damaged. So why buy all of this equipment only to destroy 99% of the terpenes and leave butane residue in the product? It triples the cost to the consumer and greatly decreases the medicinal value of the product. So what is the solution? The solution is, don't concentrate the plant. Internet Deputy found that the hemp paste and cannabis paste methods were the only methods in the world where 100% of the plant was consumed. There is zero waste, as nothing is thrown away. The flower and leaves are ground up and cooked with a coconut-type oil called MCT oil. That hemp paste method preserves the terpenes, and the cost to produce the hemp paste is literally 335 times cheaper than the chemically processed oil. This will make this amazing natural medicine affordable to the whole world, and people who could not afford it before now can. But the billion-dollar question is, will the world learn these 7 blunders? Will you, the consumer, still buy CBD and THC oils? Or will you revert back to what is natural? Thank you. And I hope that you enjoyed this investigative report. This is Brian Boyd, reporting for Internet Deputy.